Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Pastor Reggie. After 50 years, kami bumalik sa Pilipinas. So, that was beginning 1968. So, yung mga dream pa lang, mga kabataan, siguro meron ng mga bunga na ngayon. So, some of you are, I don't know, but we begin to meet everyone. And you don't know me too as well. But I was baptized, just to give you a background, I was baptized 1966. Kami ay mga kabataan, 17 years old, 18 years old. The same thing with my wife. Babysitter ni Mr. Daken for the 3 girls. And pagpasok ko sa Mapua as a civil engineering student, my father said, yung daddy ko, hindi ko na kaya, I cannot afford you to go, but just give me 1 semester. Sabi niya, sabi ko, and I'll make a way. I'll see what I can do. So that was the background. Nag-enroll ako sa Mapua, pero naghahanap ako ng part-time. So at that time, bagong bukas yung opisina. We call it Ambascol, opisina ng church. Sabi, pero nung nalaman ko sila, it was not about work. Mr. Ortiguero said, Phil, may Feast of Tabernacle, September. Saan? San Nicolas. Oh, San Nicolas. Ordaneta, somewhere there. But anyway, sabi ko, Pastor, kapapasok ko lang sa alanganin naman na 1 week yun. Alanganin, saka wala akong atik. So, anyway, ganon. And then anyway, later on, sabi, you come to the Bible study. Then I met Mr. Waterhouse, Mr. Ortiguero, the Ortigueros. 5 families, 5 families. I could count them in my hands. The Ortigueros, Gonzalez's, Quinas. Okay, 5. And then kami mga kabataan, nandun lang kami. Siguro mga 3. 3 young people. But anyway, we left the country in 1980 and we went to Canada. A major decision. Kasi ang nangyari noon, just to fast forward yung timeline, nag-aral kami sa Ambassador with my wife. We were sent to school. Si Mr. Daken, at that time, when I said, Mr. Daken, I know I'm interested more of building my career at this point. I'm young. I need to build my career. Okay, so I said, there is an offer for me to go to Subic by that time I was 2nd year. Sa Mapua, I can draw, they took me as a draft. They offered me a draftman job, which is $1.15 US dollars. So, tinignan ko, okay ito per hour to. So anyway, I went to Mr. Ortiguero, sir, magre-resign na ako sa trabaho. My plan is, my goal is, I want to jump to the US Navy and head to the US. That was my plan. That was a big thing in my life. So to make story short, sabi, we recommended you for ambassador. They are testing non-whites to go there, not married, to integrate, kasi puti lang kasi wala pang itim sa ambassador. So, yung brown, in between. So, in between yung brown. Sabi ko, okay, sabi ko, if you carry on, so, short time, we have to get our passports and everything. So, anyway. We came back. almost four years after 1972. What was big thing in my mind or in the minds of people then is the 1972 syndrome, 1972, 1975 syndrome. I don't want to spend too much time on that because it's something that is in the past. We were anchored on dates as parang ang nangyari tuloy, parang we were interpreting God's will. We cannot tell what God's plan is. You are there, I'm here. So, sabi niya, yung pag-iisip ko hindi pag-iisip ninyo. So, but then ini-interpret yun. That's the simplest way for me to explain that. But we came back and sabi ko, kung end of the world, kaya naman yung savings ko, okay? Tiis na lang tayo. Whatever it is, okay, we were graduates, but Mr. Adair came in later, and then I did not even have a chance to negotiate a little bit. Paano ito? Paano will I be working the office? What? So we just took whatever. But in the end, I said, well, I have to decide for my family. My responsibility is my family. I got 3 kids now, and I did a spreadsheet. I said, my wife and I had a good job. I was already outside the office. She was working. Even with our full job, we cannot send our children to school, period. No equivocation. So that was a turning point. We have to go abroad. We know abroad. We went to Canada. They accepted us. Come quickly. 3 months. Come. Sabi ng Canadian Embassy. So we went. To make the long story short, 20 years was dedicated to my education, and the next 30 years was for job, pamilya. That was the full concentration. I changed career. I had to transition. The skills that I have, I was good in drafting, I was good in my hands. When I had the opportunity, because I lost a job, my job, in Canada, lasted only 8 months. I went to the unemployment and they said, well, good. They said, well, we will train you if you want. We can pick up where you left off. That's how good Canada is. I said, shoot. So they trained me for the next 2 years, 2.5 years, but I had to shift. I have to go to manufacturing. You have to understand, they said that Ontario is a manufacturing province, okay? So it's a rich province, very rich province, but you have to go into this field. We see you have computer, you can program. We see that at that time, 1980, 1990, technology was just coming into full throttle. Parang yung plane. So I was trained at the latest technology. We call it numerical control machining. Okay, kung alam yung machinista, the lathe or whatever mill. Okay, ito na. May brain na ito. Pero ang brain noon, very crude kasi it's the tape, mylar tape. Ang training doon, pag binasa mo yung tape, magka-count ka ng butas. Kasi yung butas-butas, yan ang nagre-read ng information. Pinadaan mo sa makina, it reads the information. And that's how it tells the machine to do this, to do that. Okay. So, in a year and a half, I was able to get my basic machining background. I learned how to operate a lathe, milling, different kinds of machines. And then, compounded on that is the electronic brain, which is we call the artificial intelligence ngayon. At this point, artificial intelligence. So, I learned that trade. I call it that trade is classified under computer numerical control machinist. Okay. So anyway, that has been my job, my trade before we came back to Canada, to the Philippines, 2012. Every year we were coming back just to reacquaint ourselves, because you have to remember that we were absent for almost 40 years, 35 years now, 50 years now, total. So when Pastor Reggie asked me, "Can you speak?" Well, I said, "Oh, can you give me a cue?" Sabi niya, "Trailblazer, pioneer." Okay, well, that sounds good. Okay, I'll take it. So that will be my subject. To define trailblazer, the other words for that is pioneer, pathfinder, explorer, or natural leader. Okay, itong definition ng trailblazer. Well, siguro because we were pioneers or at the beginning of the church, well, I sort of can classify myself being there as pioneer. Pero ngayon, we are balikbayan retirees, but tapos na yung trabaho. Ngayon, pension na lang. Eh, yun ang kagandahan kasi after all the work, well, at least may pension. This is nice for Canada and the States and all the Western world. Now, my condition at this point, if I would have just carried on with my life, it would be just like her, Mrs. I would be on a wheelchair. Kasi hindi na ako makatayo. I had to have a knee replacement, double knee replacements. Okay? So therefore, we have to make a decision again. Nung nagkaroon ako ng knee replacement with therapy for almost 3 years, paid naman. Okay naman. Paid naman ng trabaho ko. I said, thank you. Napaaga yung retirement ko for 3 years. I took the opportunity. Okay, fine. Mag-relax na lang. Mag-ana na lang. Carried on. So, now, trailblazer, let's examine what we can learn from this word. Yung natural leader, may kanyang trait, okay? And this is everybody, okay? Husband, wife, anybody is a leader, okay? Kasi yung wife, yung mga bata. You have to look at the children. Yung kagaya ko, husband naman, well, you have to look after your wife and the children. And which is our concentration when we were in Canada. So, ganon. Now, one of the biggest trait na drill siguro sa utak ko when I was going to school is learning how to planning, just planning. Kung, say for example, you're going to have a date with the girl, well, at least magplano ka na anong movie na pupunta natin, anong gagawin natin. Planning is basic and it should be part of our trait. Plan everything. Yung tinatawag na 4 W's and H, what, where, dapat maano yan. You can answer that. What it is? What am I doing? Where am I going? Where, pagkatapos, and how. Lahat yun. Pag makuha mo yung pag any plan that you have, this is the metrics that you can put your plan on. Then you would have an idea exactly what to do. So, planning is a trait of a leader, of a pioneer, of a trailblazer. So, now, just to be intimate with you, in my career as a tradesperson, I call myself tradesperson. It's not professional, it's a trade person. I work with machine, and I work with the brain of the machine, which is the computer. The machine that I run is what I call money-producing machine. Kasi what it runs, if a metal costs so so much centavos per pound, we could multiply that times 100. It becomes a part. So anyway, so I work, but I work with the machine. It's computer. You don't see what the machine is working on. So that's the planning is there, and I was given the help to pursue my career on that direction. Now the other one is resourcefulness. Resourcefulness is just awareness. It's just information that should be in your hands. It should be lahat yung kailangan mo dapat nandun. Just like an example would be madalas kaming nagbabas from when we go to MOA, we live in North Fairview, go straight to MOA, and then 3 hours bus ride. Wow, sobra to. But then when we saw the point-to-point bus na hindi nag-i-stop, it picks up from one point, it drops off on one point, diretso. Okay lang. So that was information that we got from the airport, Trinoma, and we went to San Angeles just to test it. We can go to Subic, test it. Anyway, it's there. But anyway, in conclusion, okay, and the resourcefulness, it's just awareness, asking questions. There are lots of things that we can learn from your colleagues, from your friends. Just ask them questions. And a certain mentorship. Kung yung makakatulong sa iyo, just ask them questions about it, okay? And yung mga experiences nila, actually, that's the reason why we have a church. Ang sabi ng Diyos, so that we have fellowship to encourage each other. Actually, yan, kung meron problema ng isa, pagkatapos na daanan ng isa, ganito. This is how I've overcome that situation. And maybe try this. It might help you. So, ganun ang fellowshipping. So anyway, these two words of learning how to plan and being resourceful are two powerful words that it should be part of us. It should be part of our thinking, in the way we function as individuals, okay? Nabigyan tayo ng napakalaking brain and mind, and let's use that. It's a very powerful. Now, the way, it seems like to me, the way God works with us is we can understand it. It could be a crude comparison, but it's just like a GPS, okay? When you put a GPS on a truck, on something else, it's forever attached as long as it's on. The same thing with God. When He gives His Spirit, we are with Him. That's why ang worship is not limited to what? 2 hours, 3 hours? No, it's 24/7. That's the concept. That's the concept of new covenant. Yan ang iniisip, yan ang pagkakaiba noon. Kasi noon in the Old Testament, remember. Sabi ng Diyos, remember. They forget naman. So, siguro ang sabi ng Diyos, okay, sige, forget na lang. And I will click it, and I will stir it, and it will be the Holy Spirit. Technically, gano'n ang sinabi sa New Testament. O sige, forget na lang. I will give you something. That's very crude analysis, but it pictures a picture. It gives a picture. It's GPS, okay, and then the 3-in-1. The 3-in-1. Okay, members that had gone somewhere because they couldn't understand what the Catholics understood. Even right at the beginning, there is a God, there is a Son, there is a Holy Spirit. 3-in-1. Talagang yan, totoo yan. Now we cannot, don't try to wrap your minds around it because hindi pa tayo nandun. That's why God said, well, once you get there, I will explain everything. But bago namin naintindihan, if we didn't understand this, we would have been somewhere else with other group. But then to understand it, each one of us do use a computer, okay? Pag sinabi mo yung gumagawa ng computer, ay yung desktop lang ang computer. No. There is the CD, there is the other things that you could use in it, in the computer. Ganon. 3-in-1. Hindi pa lang 3-in-1, 5-in-1 pa. Yung i7, i5, you can do almost anything. Anyway, that's our journey. We are so happy to be here. We came back because we want to reacquaint ourselves again to our friends, people that we know, and increase our base of friendship. You know, as sabi nga sa chess, it's the end game, okay? Now, what is end game? Wow, if I program my life, 10 years is quite huge from here on, you know? 10 years, 15 years, 20 years is outside. My mind is not capable of thinking about 20 years from now because I'll be maybe centennial, 100 years. So anyway, nice to be here, and medyo napahaba. Thank you very much, Pastor. Okay, thank you.